So the United States shares a very important relationship, which is an alliance with the Republic of North Korea. You need to get to go and need to be able to get where you need to go to do the work and get home. Talking about the significance of the passage of time, right? The significance of the passage of time. So when you think about it, there is great significance to the passage of time.
We don't know. It is time for the Hot Topic Buzz. That was a montage of some of Vice President Kamala Harris's most interesting speech moments. Interesting, it's a good word. This, as Politico is reporting, that she has hired her third speech writer since taking office. The vice president's newest scribe is Dave Cavell, who formerly wrote for Joe Biden's climate envoy, John Kerry, and the Obama administration. Communications director Jamal Simmons telling Politico, quote, "The vice president takes very seriously the team that works for her. We look forward to her having many more interesting things to say." Your thoughts, Tiana? This is scary stuff.
So, I mean, look, Kamala Harris, there's a reason why she didn't make it to Iowa, and that is even in California, right, the most indigo state in the union, she would always run behind the other Democrats in statewide elections. Her victory margin was always smaller than that of, say, Gavin Newsom, right? What Kamala Harris was good at was at working a room for donor money, right? That's a very, very different skill than being, you know, in a divided government, being on a national stage, and also having the venue to give speeches from North Korea, right? Working a room, the same skill to get millions of dollars, not the same skill to resonate with millions of people. So part of the issue is just it's not the scribe, it is the person delivering the remarks. She comes across as fresh as, you know, something out of a can.
Well, it's just very unprepared.
So,
right?
so you know the song, Maria. I'm sure you do. What do you do with a problem like Maria?
Yeah.
You know, well, for Democrats, it's what do you do with a problem like Kamala?
Yeah.
And this is actually pretty serious in terms of where this country is headed. And the Democrats
it's how do you solve a problem, Maria?
They've got a problem with Joe Biden, right? I mean, Joe Biden's old. He probably can't run for election. But they have a vice president who is a joke. I mean, she's just not fit for office. So they're going to have to, Democrats are going to have to decide, how do they get rid of her, frankly? I mean, she's as negative in terms of public opinion of any politician I've seen in modern times, in no small part because of these one gaffe after another after another.
I mean, it's just indicating how unprepared she really is.
Right.
And it's scary because we don't know what will happen with Joe toward the end of his term. I don't know. Does he stick it out with all of his gaffes? Knowing who number two is
exactly
frightening.
That's my point.
Yeah, Dave Cavell is going to take over. It sounds more like Dave Chappelle.
Yeah.
These commentaries, these run-on commentaries. What I do think it speaks to is we need leadership that is dynamic, has an answer, has a very serious answer to these problems, and not dancing around and trying to wordsmith the problem. I think that's part of the issue.
And it's also the entire cabinet. I mean, like Jennifer Granholm, the energy secretary, Pete Buttigieg, where is he? We're about to have a rail strike. I mean, it's like, what a group.
Identity politics really was the death of this administration, right? Like the decision to put Xavier Becerra, who has no history of healthcare except for, you know, suing nuns that way they have to fund abortions, putting him in charge of the HHS during a pandemic. Yeah. It's just all of the, you know, and everyone was just mismatched, right? Why not put Buttigieg in charge of the VA? Why give him transportation? None of it makes sense.
Well, these are all political operatives, Tiana.
Yeah.
So that's the thing.
So
just a patronage opinion.
Operatives in important jobs.
Well, Maria, you know, we were the ones who did that study that showed that the average Biden appointee has zero business experience, none.
Yeah.
So who would Biden even turn to in this cabinet for good business economic advice?
Well, that comes across in the policy, actually.
Yeah, exactly.
Unfortunately.